Have you been sold this dream?
But you wake up to this reality?
Then this episode is for you. There are a few bonuses to being short.
Yeah, you get more leg room when travelling, and you've got a really low centre of gravity. So if somebody pushes you over, you don't fall. Unfortunately, there are a few more cons than there are pros. Clothes, they never fit. In summer, the sweet smell of armpits fills the air.
Worst of all, though, finding a perfect bike setup. It's hard enough finding a bike that fits, never mind finding accessories. In this episode, we're going to talk about the pain points of being a short cyclist.
We're going to give you some alternatives to the 80% of the bike bags that don't fit.
And we're setting a challenge to manufacturers. Get in the market!
Stay tuned and be warned, this could get a bit ranty. We mentioned on Twitter that we were going to do this episode about gear on small frame bike.
Oh my goodness, the replies. So many women, especially women, having this issue.
Yeah.
So many.
And even some men.
So many. And even some men.
Yeah. So we really feel as though this is something that's struck a nerve with people and that we want to try and figure out, give advice and also change.
Yes.
You only have to type bikepacking into a search engine to find the dream.
But what do they all have in common?
Lots of space.
If you have a small framed bike, this is not the reality.
No. And a lot of tall people, they will ask us, well, why don't you just use panniers? Well, we don't want to, for the same reason that you might not want to.
We want to travel light. We like the bikepacking setup.
Why should we have to compromise and find solutions for badly designed kit when other people don't?
So let's go over the pain points, shall we?
Let's. Ideally, what do we want on the front?
Some kind of roll bag's good.
Yeah, you need to be able to fit loads of stuff in there. Yeah, you see, and when it's packed tight, you can't fit it under your handlebars. Ideally, we should be able to fit this under an aero bar. Like a lot of people ride with an aero bar setup when they do bike packing. So this would be the ideal. Okay, if we look at my handlebars, we've got 30 centimetres of space between the drops. We've got 20 centimetres of space above the tyre. We've got 10 centimetres of space before the gear levers and brake levers. If we look at some common brands, you can see that that's never going to fit in there.
To be honest, I'm a little bit taller than you. This is a struggle on my bike.
Yeah. And as we can see here, it's not an ideal fit on mine.
So what's the answer?
Well, small bags is the only answer we could probably put in there, unless we build outwards.
I want some rigidity to my bag. I don't want it to sag into my tyre. Are you listening, manufacturers? This, lots of lovely rigidity on the back. Nothing to stop this bit sagging into my tyre. When it's tired and I've packed it badly. And also I'm quite tired too.
And you'd think that if we had just small bags, we as smaller people could fit stuff in there because smaller people equals smaller kit. However, the thing is we can't get small kit either. Can't get sleeping bags that are the right size, can't get sleeping mats that are the right size. We have to take all that full size gear and stuff it into an even smaller bag. Okay, so I have two bags that I use for my limited space. I've got this Apidura bag, which is a really good bag. It fits nice and neat in the handlebars and it doesn't rub on the tyre unless it's really packed full and it's heavy. However, it fills up with water when it's raining, so it's not ideal and they could easily sort that out, I think, if they wanted to. So please, Apidura, can you sort that out and send me a replacement?
It's very waterproof once the water's in, but
yes,
keeps the water in lovely.
Yeah, which is great if you need to rehydrate. Ortlieb do this bag, which is quite narrow as well. You can fit a decent amount in there. However, this is actually an accessory bag that you're supposed to put on another bag. However, I can't fit the other bag on there, so I'm left with just this. Now, if I could get an even smaller one on the front here, and then maybe an even smaller one for even smaller
like Russian doll bags.
Yeah, that would be great.
One solution could be flared handlebars that allows for a slightly wider bag. And obviously flat bars allow more space.
Some people, they have fork cages, which are basically a bag that sits within a cage on the fork of the bike. Now, some forks actually have like mount points that you can put a cage onto, whereas most forks don't have that, so you could kind of DIY it with straps. Some people even just tie a bottle cage onto it with cable ties or duct tape or both. Not duct tape, electrical tape or both. So you could give that a go if you wanted to. If you don't want to, no,
don't do it then. No one's making you.
No one's making you to. Quick question for you.
Do you think it's possible to bike pack with touring kit? So where's the line? When are you bike packing and when are you touring? When are you touring? When are you bike packing? When are you bike touring? Type backing.
Let us know in the comments below, because we don't know what we're talking about anymore.
Okay, frame bag could be a good idea. You can get at it on the move without getting off your bike, and it's good for heavy things because the weight's right in the middle of the frame. Quite tricky to get them to fit smaller bikes though, as you can see. This isn't the smallest one that Outkit do, but in all the pictures on the Outkit website they all fit beautifully with a lovely big gap. This is a middle-sized one. I'll just shove it in a bit and then put it out of the way of my bottle with this extra thing that does away with the advantage of being able to get in it. It's not brilliant, is it?
As you can see, my frame has 0 space for any frame bags. Some use the space for a hydration pack instead. You could get a custom one that would incorporate both a hydration bladder as well as some storage, but they can get quite pricey.
All about the back, no trouble.
Lots of trouble. Okay, let's talk about the back. The distance between my tyre and the saddle is 18 centimetres. Now, that is pretty much the distance that the manufacturer is saying you should have a minimum of. However, pack a bag tightly and it's inevitably going to be rubbing on the tyre.
And then you sit on the seat and it just goes down just that little bit more.
Or you go over some bumps. Boom, 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 boom. It's a really annoying noise as well.
Not to mention the hole you start getting in the bottom of your bag. So this is the Outkit bag. I haven't packed it well, as you can see, but I haven't packed it really badly. And I could easily pack it like this when I'm tired. And this is without me sitting on the saddle. So you can tighten it up a bit, but then it's still sagging. And look, that's the gap. It's not a lot of space, is it? Once I'm on the saddle, I'm going over a bump. I've got rubbing.
My solution is the tail fin. Hello, tail fin. As you can see, this is not rubbing on the side, on the tyre. It's not rubbing on the tyre. So I don't know why I'm getting so many punctures at the moment. But yeah, so this is the best thing that ever happened to me.
You're the best thing that ever happened.
When you're tired, of course, you don't necessarily pack the bag in an optimal way.
You're stuck on the side of the road. You suddenly realise all your important tools at the bottom of that bag. And by the time you've repacked it in a bit of a flap in the rain, saggy.
Sag central.
Sag
central. Speaking of saggy, if you have a saggy bag, if you have a saggy bag, if you don't do the breasts, I'm going to leave it in.
The breasts.
If you have a saggy bag. I'm just going to get this over and done with, okay? If you have a saggy bag, you can always put something rigid into it, like a coat hanger, or I think, what did we use last time? The side of a mudguard, so the metal part of a mudguard. We put that in to create some rigidity in the bag.
Basically, it's an underwired bag now.
Yeah, sorry about the giggling, I just couldn't stop.
There is an obvious solution.
Rack and panniers.
Rack and panniers. Well, we don't want that.
No.
If you don't want that, there's a sort of in between.
Yeah, there is. There's a tail fin, which I run and adore. We'll link to a review of that somewhere up here, there or there. And there's also a brand called Arkell. They do a decent kind of in-between, which is a roll packer. This kind of sticks out the back of the bike a little bit further, so you're away from the saddle and you're building upwards onto a frame. But both of these alternatives are rather pricey. I'm sure you could actually probably create something yourself or get somebody who knows how to do that kind of thing for a fraction of the price, to be perfectly honest with you. But yeah, I think they're a good investment if you want to go down that road.
Outkit have a sort of fin that you slot your bag onto, but it still just comes down that bit too low and
yeah,
saggy baggy.
Baggy saggy.
Baggy saggy.
Stop it, my ears are going red from all the giggling. Manufacturers, what we would really like to see is for you to stop building bags downwards and start building bags upwards.
Yeah.
That would be great, from away from the wheel.
And the rigidity needs to go on further.
Yeah.
Sort of here and then...
Yeah. Middle sag.
Middle sag.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of middle-aged belly on the bag.
It's
Don't
not
need
good.
it. I've got my own.
Don't need it.
I've got my own.
Really don't need it. And then I've got an added bit of trouble with the bags that you stick onto the seat post, because I have a dual position seat post. So when I lift the seat upwards and forwards, the bag has to go with it. And if that's tightly packed, then it ain't doing it, which is also another reason why I really like the tail fin.
Another possible solution we thought of is maybe run 650 wheels, so you've got more clearance then between the top of the wheel and your saddle. But what's always put me off that is you can't get 650 inner tubes anywhere. So if you're in difficulty, you've run out of inner tubes, you've had your 7 punctures for the day, no passing cyclist is going to be able to help you. No
True.
local bike shop is going to be able to help you.
Yeah.
And if you're riding a long way, multi-day, you might find that you need to stock up on inner tubes, and you can't.
The obvious answer to that is tubeless, and just bring a couple of spare inner tubes and you should be good to go. But yeah, it's all about compromises. 650B wheels are a good idea to check out if you've got disc wheels, because they obviously won't fit a rim brake setup. That's specifically for your wheel size. But we're not experts on this, so you can geek out on YouTube. I did, but I'm still not an expert on it. If you're buying a new bike and you're a bit vertically challenged, I would speak to the salespeople about 650 wheels and see if it is a potential solution if you're going to use bikepacking gear. 700C wheels are 62 centimetres and 650B wheels are 58 centimetres, so you're adding an extra 4 centimetres of clearance. Do bear in mind though that you do lose some clearance on the underneath of the bike, so the derailleur and the bottom bracket will obviously be lower as well.
There is a real market. We had so many tweets on this. So many women, shorter people, not tall people, would also like to go bikepacking. Please make bags that fit our bikes.
And if you need any help, we will help you. We need designers to really think about the smaller person and the smaller frame, so that we have some choices as well. Even if it's just making the bags smaller so that they can fit, and then maybe we can pile them onto, on top of each other or in front of each other or wherever. And but we just need you to think about it. We would really appreciate it.
Don't design them for 6 foot men.
No.
Not just for 6 foot men. I've got nothing against the 6 foot man.
Or 6 foot women, for that matter.
Yeah. Nothing against tall people.
No, I do. I mean, they use me as a headrest. No, hang on. That would be weird. They use me to put their pints on and rest their arms on, but that's it really. Okay, it's
slightly raining now.
Maybe we should get everything in that we need
Seems
to.
like quite a good idea.